What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our Week 7 NFL preview and picks. As always, I got Ethan joining me here for this week's preview as we talk about this week. But before we get into this week, we actually have to talk about last week and what Ethan did, going 14-0. Perfect week. You can't do much better than that.
Yeah, 11-3 is not too bad, but I don't know how, man. It's a lot of luck, but I really wish I parlayed that.
Yeah, that would have made you some money. And you talk about making money. We did not do that last week for you guys. We
Yeah.
did both go 3-3, so probably, it was just a wash if you did go with us and take some single bets and whatnot. Lost on the Mason touchdown. He got hurt in that one,
He
so he
got
didn't
hurt.
really play that
Didn't count.
much. Chargers under, that was close, but didn't hit. Pittsburgh obviously put up 34, I think it was. So, I mean, that was nowhere near hitting.
Yeah, and Brian Thomas obviously didn't do what I expected. Washington, Baltimore, obviously over. Cleveland, that's just too many points against the Eagles. The Eagles kind of suck. Colts +3. I don't know where we got that spread, but +3 is pretty nice.
Mhm.
And but yeah, so let's get into the week 7 locks
Yeah.
of the week here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going with some unders and overs, and then two spreads, kind of like how you're doing it, just a different way. I'm taking
A
the
little
under in
different.
the Jacksonville Patriots game. I think 42 points is a lot of points for that game because Jacksonville, I mean, honestly, they could put up 31 and still only let up 10 and still hit the under, or it could be a 2017 type of game. And I think it's gonna be kind of like that. The over in the Green Bay Texans game and the over in the Lions Vikings game are both going to hit. Say that because I think, defense is going to be a good piece in this one, but the offenses are just too good. And I think it's just going to slightly hit the over. And the under actually in the Carolina Washington game, I think 51.5 is a lot of points for a bad Carolina team. Washington's very good. And like we were saying, they probably will score 30, but I just can't see Carolina scoring 21. And then I have the Falcons covering 3.5 against Seattle. And then I have Kansas City on the road taking 1.5 in San Francisco.
Yeah, those are some solid picks. I definitely would rock with that. I might be tailing, you know. So for me, I'm going a little something a little different. Two spreads, two over unders and two touchdowns. I got the Colts -3 at home against the Dolphins. KC +1.5 at San Francisco. Just too good. Houston at Green Bay over 47.5. And then the Jets and Steelers over 38. They burned me last time. I think they're going to score some points. Sunday Night Football. And then Bijan Robinson, anytime touchdown. Kenneth Walker, anytime touchdown. +32.72. So pretty good odds there. And I think we're well on our way. We gotta start winning some of these here,
Yeah,
for
and
me at
talking
least.
about winning, hopefully the Saints are going to bring it home for us here. The Broncos are a tough test because I think this team's getting better and better with Bo Nix starting to figure it out. The defense is great, but the Saints really are desperate for a win here. Whether it's Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler starting in this one, I think the Saints are still going to bring it on home. I think the run game with Kamara is just going to be too much for that Broncos defense at the end of the game.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I think this is a pretty good matchup for the Saints. Kamara's should have a pretty good matchup here. And like you said, I don't really have any further analysis on this game. I think Saints will win it at home.
Yeah, then Sunday morning, yet again, we get another London game. Patriots, Jaguars, should say 1-5 there for the Jags.
Yeah.
Don't know why I didn't say that. But I think this is going to be a battle of the first pick at this point in the season. Whoever loses this game might get pick one next year. And I think it's going to be the Patriots losing this game. Jaguars are just too talented to lose this game. And if they lose this game, the Jags, Doug Peterson's fired on the way back on the flight. He won't find out till he touches down in the United States that he is fired. But it's a big game for the Jaguars this week if they even have any chance of competing for a playoff spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in my predictions, I had the Jags making the playoffs, or obviously not going to 1-5. So to my predictions, not so good. And obviously, like you said, it's not looking good for head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. If they lose to the Patriots, he will be probably out of office for sure. But I do think the Jags will win it here. It's a London game, and Trevor Lawrence is just too good to lose. But it will be interesting to watch Drake May a little bit. So on this Sunday morning. So that'll be pretty cool.
And then at 1 o'clock, you get my Packers hosting the Texans at home. Huge game for both these teams to really solidify themselves as a top five team in the NFL this year. Whoever wins this game definitely is going to earn that title, maybe even top three if the Texans win this game. Obviously, I'm rocking with my Packers at home. The offense is starting to click, And when that's the case, the Packers are a tough team to stop, but it same goes for the Texans. So that's kind of why I have this one being a shootout.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an over as well. We both are kind of on that same track. I do think the Texans will win it though. Like I said before, I just think they always find a way of winning. It's going to be a really tough matchup here in Green Bay, but I think they're ready for it. And I think it'll be a really entertaining game with Jordan Love playing the way he has. Both kind of playing for an MVP spot, as no one really has decided to take over that position yet. I'm going with CJ Stroud on the road here, and the Texans played dominant football last week, and I think they're going to roll this week as well. In a tough game.
And then a big game for both these NFC teams. Seahawks are losers of three straight. Falcons winners of three straight, I think. And
Something like
both these
that.
teams are going completely polar opposite ways, but I'm going with the Falcons here at home. Obviously, I took the three in the spread, and I think the Falcons are just going to start to run away with this. The Falcons are finally starting to become that team that we thought they would at the beginning of the year. Started slow, that's expected with a new quarterback and a new system, all that. But now they are really thriving, and Drake London has emerged as one of the game's top receivers this year.
Yeah, and I think they're going to continue it this week. Seattle has not been looking too good, but I do think there's a world where they can beat the Falcons here, playing some tough defense. So this definitely isn't 100% going the Falcons' way. I had a tough time picking this game, but I do think, like you said, with the way that the teams are trending and how when Kirk gets hot and Bijan scored 2 touchdowns last week, along with what you said about Drake London, I just think the Falcons got too much firepower right now.
And then a game that should be a blowout. Not really much analysis. Titans suck. Don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be after this week.
That was
Levis is
brutal.
still going to play, but who knows how that's going to go. And the Bills, squeaked out one in New York, and I think that's a big game for them that people are going to look back at the end of the season and said that's the game that probably won them the AFC East. And I think the Bills just keep on rolling.
Yeah, definitely. Think that was a big win on Monday night. Bills should definitely win this game as well, but I could see this going one or two ways. The Titans could cover that spread, or I could also see the Bills just stomping them. So I will take the Bills, but I don't know. That spread's a little big for me, a little too high.
And you want to talk about teams that should cover a spread? This is also a team in the Bengals. 2-4, finally got a win in what felt like years for this Bengals team against the Giants. And it was an ugly win, but a win is a win. And I think they're going to build off of it. Browns are awful. Bengals have more talent on the field, but the Browns are getting Chubb back this week. So maybe that could be kind of a game wrecker in some way because we don't know what Nick Chubb we're going to see. So that's probably the biggest question mark heading into this game.
Yeah, I got the Bengals as well. Joe Burrow's been playing great football, but it basically stops there after, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins as well. So that defense has looked bad. And this is a good matchup because Deshaun Watson's been terrible. And yeah, they should definitely cover this 6 point spread. The Browns haven't scored more than 20 points uh,
Mhm.
this year.
And not really much to say in this one. The Colts should win as long
You
as
know,
Flacco is playing. Honestly, they might as well just not sit Richardson, but I honestly think Richardson should just sit and learn behind Flacco at this point because Flacco has come in and really taken this team to a whole new level. And it's kind of where they want to be with Richardson. And I think it would be great for him to learn under Flacco. And if Flacco is the starter, I think they're definitely going to win this game.
yeah, me too. There's no doubt if Flacco's starting, Colts should win it, especially at home. They always play good at home, especially defensively. They just play better. And Joe Flacco didn't play great last week, but the Titans have a pretty tough defense. Dolphins, just nothing's going well right now for them. So, yeah, give me the Colts here.
And probably the game of the week, if we're going to be honest here, Lions, Vikings, not only a battle for the top seed in the NFC, but for the NFC North as well. That division's loaded this year. Everybody has a winning record at this point. And I'm going with the Vikings at home. I think they just keep on rolling. It's hard to pick against the team that is undefeated so far this year. And they're coming out of a bye. And I think that's something not to overlook at is because normally these teams coming out of a bye have a good game plan of a week and a half that they can plan for this Lions team who, I think they really do well at disguising things, especially in these divisional matchups. But I think the Vikings are going to win a close game here. And this could be one of those epic 35-34 kind of finishes.
Yeah, definitely agree there. Great analysis from you there.
Thank you.
And I'm taking the Lions though. With all that being said, they are like you said, the Vikings coming off a bye are going to be very I think they're going to be out. They're going to be ready to play. But the Lions are always ready to play, even coming after a blowout win over the Cowboys when the Cowboys looked terrible the whole time. I think they're going to keep rolling here. There's no reason for me to pick the Vikings other than that I really think the Lions have played better. I know the Vikings are undefeated, but Lions are 4-1, and I believe they've actually the Vikings have played some tough opponents as well. But so I'm not sleeping on the Vikings, but I do think the Lions are a better team, and hopefully the Lions will win at this game, so I don't look stupid.
Yeah, there you go. And you want to talk about possibly looking stupid? I'm
Yep.
taking the Giants here in a flyer. What I saw last week from the Eagles at home wasn't impressive. And the Giants, they played the Bengals pretty well. Obviously, couldn't get it done in the end, but I think the Giants definitely can pull off the upset here. If Malik Neighbors is playing, Devin Singletary is expected to play in this one. So they're going to get their two best offensive weapons back against the Eagles, who are looking shaky. I do like the Giants here in an upset.
Yeah, I can't lie. I picked the Giants in a flyer parlay, so I almost picked them here. But since this is just picks and nothing happens if you get it wrong, I think I'm gonna take the Eagles. Not definitely not taking the spread. With the Giants at home, Eagles, like you said, have just not looked good anywhere near as they have been. They look more like the team the second half of last year than anything else. And the Giants have played some pretty good ball the last couple weeks. I mean, you never know. I'm going to take the Eagles here just because that'd be kind of this is a flyer pick.
Then moving to the 4 o'clock slate, two teams desperately need a win. The new look Raiders, obviously getting rid of Devontae, trading him to the Jets, gets his wish. So now Jacoby Myers is wide receiver one. And the Rams expected to get back Cooper Kupp this week. Puka, he's coming very soon as well. If you can get a win here, head into week 8, 2-4, the playoffs are definitely not out of the question because the Rams have been playing some teams tough, just can't get that win. And I think getting Kupp and Puka back can elevate them to that level of where they can win those games. And I think this is where it starts here for the Rams to come back and really put themselves in a category of possibly being a wild card team.
Yeah, like you said, I definitely like the Rams here, and I mean I don't know, it's kind of tough in a 1-4 spot, but if they do pick up a win here, like you said, they do have a shot, and I do think they will do that. Raiders have looked bad last week against the Steelers, and just really didn't show any signs of improvement. And the Rams, on the other hand, have shown some signs of improvement, and I do think they'll win this football game.
And then a big game for the Commanders. I don't think anyone would have expected the 1-5 Panthers to be going into the 4-2 Commanders in week 7. Panthers probably 1-5 you expected, but the Commanders, they're on a roll right now. Even with their loss last week to the Ravens, it's a good loss because what they did going into Baltimore, almost walking away with a victory or even an overtime performance, you got to give the Commanders some credit. And I think they're going to get back in the win column this week with Jaden Daniels possibly winning Rookie of the Year and maybe even getting some MVP votes.
Yeah, definitely agree there. There's not a lot of picks where we have different this week. So Commanders, Panthers, this is Panthers. You never know. It's the NFL, but I mean the Panthers really just want to keep losing to get a better draft pick. And Jaden Daniels and that offense have looked really good for the Commanders, and I don't see it stopping here. I like Washington. I like Washington probably to cover the spread as well.
And then another huge game in the 425 slate, Chiefs Niners. We've seen this way too many times. I'm
Yeah.
going with the Chiefs, and it's hard to bet against an undefeated Chiefs team and hard to bet against Mahomes. Even if it's on the road, that place is going to be rocking, but somehow, some way, we might see a late pass interference call that goes the Chiefs' way and they walk away with a victory.
Yeah, I mean that could definitely happen. It's happened a little bit, but you can't really blame that on Mahomes. I think, same thing with Brady, just there's always just something that's going wrong. There's always something to complain about, but uh I mean when you get the Chiefs as an underdog, I think you might as well go ahead and take it. So,
And then a huge game for you and a huge game for the Jets. I think the Jets are going to go on the road and beat Pittsburgh. And I say this because I think this might be a Devontae Adams legacy game. I
mm,
know the Steelers secondary is pretty good with Minka and his partners, but Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams, that's gonna, most of the time you're doubling those two. And now you got two of those receivers. You can't double both of them. So it's gonna pick your poison here. And really, I think you can expect an Alan Lazard to have a sneaky good game in this one because he's put up some good numbers as the number 2 in this offense, but now he's the number 3 option. So I could definitely see the Jets really throwing the ball well in this one, just because the Steelers don't really know where the ball is going to be distributed.
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers here. Russell Wilson's supposed to be starting, apparently over Justin Fields, which I'm not sure if I agree with, but I guess we'll see. I think if the Steelers can stop the run game and get to Aaron Rodgers and really just make Aaron Rodgers uncomfortable, that's their secret to winning here. And I do think Russell Wilson playing will open up the pass game a little bit more, just a little bit more. I think Justin Fields is a good passer, but Wilson's a little bit more established. And I think that makes the offense slightly better. And obviously, Devontae Adams, I think with Mike Tomlin's going to focus on, they're going to stop Devontae Adams. So Garrett Wilson and Lazard could have big games, but they're going to stop their best player, which I think will minimize the offense. And the Steelers will win this game. And like I said earlier, they're going to cover this spread as well. Sunday Night Football.
And then Monday Night Football, all I gotta say, Lamar as a starter against NFC teams, 22 and 1. And I
Yeah.
think it's gonna move to 23 and 1. It's a tough road game nonetheless. I think the Ravens are clicking, and as long as Derrick Henry is still healthy with Lamar, good luck stopping that rushing game.
Yeah, that run game is really good. With all respect to the Bucks and what they've been doing last couple of years with Baker, just Ravens. They don't. The Bucks defense doesn't see guys like a guy like Lamar very often, so it makes it very hard to stop him. And I think obviously with Derrick Henry, like you said, that's a very lethal running combo. So I don't think they're going to be able to stop him very much. And the Ravens should take care of business on Monday night this week.
And then I'll probably be in bed sleeping by the time this game's over because it really doesn't mean that much to us. But I'm
Mhm.
going with the Chargers on the road. I think they're going to be the better coach team in this one. And in these kind of games, primetime television, I think that does matter. And I like the Chargers here and what they're doing. They finally can run the ball. Herbert's looking good. And, Chargers could be a sneaky team come December and really be turning it up and possibly be competing for the AFC West championship.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Cardinals here. I do like the Chargers, but I'm sticking with the Cardinals here with my preseason predictions. I think I like what they're doing, and I think they're going to win this ball game at home. And I mean, 9 o'clock p.m. start. I'll probably be in bed as well. So not much further, but it's going to be an exciting game. Gonna might watch the highlights, might not. What are you going to do Monday night, man?
Watch the other game, that's for sure.
I might be watching the baseball games.
Nah, nah, football. My Tigers are out. Last time we were on here, Tigers were in the playoffs. So a little depressed today in this video because of the
That's
Tigers are
fair.
out. But hey, the White Sox might be selling the team, so maybe they'll be a little better.
So maybe we could buy the White Sox, is what you're saying.
Yeah. If you guys all subscribe and start giving us money to make, we'll buy the White Sox.
All right.
So that's it. That's all we needed to say. That's it. We're out.
All right.
Bye.
Peace.